When did you come up with the idea for suroi?
To explain the origin of suroi, I have to start with Surviv Reloaded, or Resurviv, which was my first attempt, let's say, to bring back Surviv. Basically, it was an open source server implementation which used the original pre-congregate client. Now, unfortunately, a few months into the development of Resurviv, I got a DMCA takedown request from Congregate. Obviously, they weren't too happy about me using their copyrighted assets, but I didn't want to give up this community that I'd spent months building up. My original plan was to contribute to an existing Surviv revival project called Open Survive. Now it's called Islander.io. But again, I didn't want to give up this community. So what I decided to do, I made a poll basically asking people, what should I do? Should I make a new game or should I contribute to this existing one? And overwhelming number of people said, yes, I should create a new game. So that's what I did.
I guess that also answers why you created the game. Uh,
Yeah.
so how many people are helping you? Because I've been on your Discord and I know that it's not just you. There's plenty of others, and it appears as though you're getting help from the community as well.
Yeah, the community has been extremely helpful in the development of suroi. I wouldn't be able to do it without them. There are probably a few dozen people who have contributed to suroi.
I've seen a lot of art, like just scrolling through it. There's like the
Yeah,
audio is one of my favorite parts. Dablux, they're just somebody who's always been a member of the Surviv community, and they've always done pretty good concepts and stuff. So it's nice to see just the sheer amount of help that you've been getting. People are really dedicated to this game.
they sure are.
I'm assuming from your previous responses, but is this your first game? I'm assuming it's not.
Well,
Is it your
it's
first like
it's
standalone game, like that you are making from the ground up, essentially?
it is my first game, unless you count Resurviv. I have made several games just for fun in the past, but I never announced them anywhere. They never really got big. So yeah, this is my first big game.
Once you add all the mechanics that were present in Surviv, rather, because it's gone now. Will you continue to develop more mechanics and add them into the game, or are you going to kind of keep it more true to the origin?
Absolutely, I will continue to develop the game after I've added the core mechanics of Surviv. I'm going to add. I think I'll experiment with some new mechanics. Definitely add some new modes. Yeah, that kind of thing.
And do you plan on implementing ads in any way and trying to turn this into a sort of profitable job for you?
So, suroi will never be a for-profit game. The goal of suroi was never to make money. It's just a how do I put this?
For fun?
Yeah. It's just for fun. It's a hobby. So I might put up ads at some point, but I'm gonna try to rely on donations for the most part to keep the servers running. And if I ever do put up ads, they're going to be small and unintrusive. I will try to avoid video ads if at all possible.
Yeah, the video ads were the only reason I ran ad block when playing Surviv. Since the game is open source, I expect that you've probably had to consider a lot more about cheating and all that. I know Surviv had a lot of cheating communities. I myself was one of the people who tried to help take them out, and so I was wondering how you're planning on combating that with an anti cheat.
Yeah, obviously the game is open source, so if I were to make an open source anti-cheat, it would be pretty easy to defeat, at least compared to a closed source one. So my plan is to make a closed source anti-cheat for the game, and also a an advanced in-game reporting system. So basically, you'll be able to record hackers, and then moderators will later be able to play back the gameplay, determine if the person is hacking, and if they are, ban them. And we can do the
So
same thing with teamers.
almost almost like the thing. Oh yeah, teamers. That was definitely an issue in Surviv. But from the way you're describing it, it almost sounds similar to the way Valve does CS:GO. What's it called? The Overwatch mechanic in CS:GO, where you have clips of people and you use the community to help determine if they're hacking or not. Only in
Hmm.
this case with not just the full community, but instead a specific group of moderators. But it sounds quite similar, at least to me, as that concept of you have human verification put into it.
Yeah, so I am planning on having a team of in-game moderators.
Are these in-game moderators also going to be like prominent members of the community? Are they going to be doing this for free, or are you planning on like paying them or something like that? Like, are you going to just go on to I'm trying to think of a hiring site and offer money to people for moderation?
Really, it depends. If I get enough donations, enough interest, then I do want to pay people to moderate the game.
Why did you originally make Resurviv? The back in the day, Surviv is gone. Why did you decide that that wasn't acceptable?
So the development of Resurviv actually started way back in January, even before Congregate announced that they were shutting down Surviv, because I just knew that they were about to, and I wanted to preserve the game. I wanted people to continue to be able to play it after Congregate shut it down. Uh, Now, originally, it was a solo project. I was working on it on my own. I was just gonna publish it to GitLab, just like the rest of my open source projects, and move on. But then I had the idea to make a post about it on the Surviv wiki forum, and it gained quite a bit of traction. I made a Discord server for the project, and then it just grew from there.
How long are you hoping to support the game for? Because obviously, Surviv was something that many people expected to last for a very long time, and then stuff happened. Are you planning on an expected expiry date, or are you gonna keep with this for as long as you can?
I'm gonna keep with it for as long as I'm financially able, as long as there are people interested in playing it, and I'm never gonna sell out. Even if someone offered me $1 million for the game, I wouldn't sell it to them.
Shots fired at Justin and Nick, but fair enough. What is the part about the game that you are the least happy with? Especially if that's something that you do think is going to be in the final version of the game, because obviously like a few bugs here and there, being unhappy with those is understandable, but what is in your opinion the thing that you hate the most about the game currently?
There are a few things, like I think the guns are a little too long, but the main thing is that suroi will never be Surviv. It could be the best game ever, but it'll never be Surviv. It'll never have that nostalgia factor, any of that. So really, that's the thing I dislike the most about it.
How can the community help with the game and help you and everybody else working on it with making it be done?
Well, there are a few different ways. If you know how to code in TypeScript, you can help with that. If you know how to use Inkscape, you can help make art for the game. And anyone, if you have a decent mic, pretty much any iPhone will work. You can make sound effects. So there are various ways you can help. Oh yeah, and if you don't have any of that, you can always help beta test the game.
Yeah, and in sound effects and all that, they're probably fairly easy to make. I remember something about the sound effects I was talking about earlier. They're made with household objects. I think one of them was made with a measuring tape for slides and stuff. But I guess this is my final question. Can you give us any Summit exclusive leaks? Anything that you're planning that you haven't told anybody else?
Sure.
Okay.
So I've talked about adding modes. So like a jungle mode, which would be similar to woods, like a winter mode, maybe a Halloween mode. But one that I haven't really talked about, which I'm planning on adding, is a tunnel mode. So basically, everything will take place in randomly generated tunnels underground, which I think it's a pretty unique concept. I haven't seen that done before in a 2D battle royale.
So is that going to work sort of like the bunkers in Surviv, where it's a ton of hallways, or is there going to be exclusively underground? You don't go above ground ever in that mode.
It's going to be exclusively underground.